So you've got that dream, right? The homestead life. You can almost taste the fresh eggs, feel that satisfaction of doing it yourself. But then the big question hits. With so many animals to choose from, where on earth do you even start? It can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. But don't you worry. We're going to break it all down and make it simple.
It's such a great dream to have. Fresh eggs, milk, your own protein, but that first step can feel like a huge leap. It's so easy to get stuck just thinking about it in that analysis paralysis mode. You want to start smart, you want to avoid those beginner mistakes that can be so costly, and that is exactly what we're here for, to help you turn that big dream into a clear, totally manageable plan.
Okay, let's get one thing straight right off the bat. Low maintenance does not mean no maintenance. What it really means is we're looking for animals that are forgiving. You know, the ones that can handle a few beginner mistakes, that don't need a custom-built barn, and that won't require you to have a vet on speed dial. Think of them as the perfect partners to help you build your confidence and see some amazing results fast. So, here's our roadmap to get you from confused to confident. We're going to start with the backyard classics, then we'll look at some compact powerhouses for those with smaller spaces. After that, we'll move on to the pasture professionals if you've got a bit more land. We'll even meet the ultimate garden helper that can boost your whole system. And then we'll tie it all together to help you make that first perfect choice.
All right, let's dive right in with what I like to call the gateway animals of the homesteading world. These are the tried and true classics that have helped launch countless homesteads, and believe me, it's for a very, very good reason.
Of course, we have to start with the chicken. There is truly nothing, and I mean nothing, like walking out to your backyard and collecting fresh eggs every single morning. It's such an incredible, tangible reward for maybe 10 or 15 minutes of work a day. Plus, they're basically a tiny, feathered pest control squad for your yard. What's not to love? But maybe chickens aren't the perfect fit for you. Well, have you considered ducks? If you live somewhere that's a bit wet or cold, or if your garden is in a constant battle with slugs, ducks might just be your new best friends. They are incredibly hardy, they're hilarious to watch, and their eggs are so rich. They're an absolute dream for baking. Seeing them side by side like this really makes it click, doesn't it? It all comes down to asking yourself, what do I really need? Are you fighting a never-ending slug war in your garden? Are you a passionate baker? Or do you just want that classic, reliable egg every day for breakfast? Your answer is going to point you in the right direction here. But what if you don't have a huge, sprawling backyard? Hey, no problem at all. Some of the most productive homestead animals are actually perfect for getting big returns in small spaces. Let's meet these compact powerhouses. You know, rabbits are seriously one of the most underrated animals for homesteaders today. They are so quiet and efficient, a small setup can produce a surprising amount of meat. But here's their real secret weapon, their manure. It's what's called a cold fertilizer, which means you can put it directly on your garden, no composting needed. It is pure gold.
Now, if you want results, and I mean like yesterday, then you need to look at quail. These Coturnix quail are absolutely astounding. They have the fastest turnaround time of any animal we're going to talk about. I mean, going from a tiny little hatchling to laying eggs in just 8 weeks, that is a total game changer, especially when you can do it all in a small hutch on a balcony or a patio.
All right, for those of you with a little more elbow room, a bit more space to roam, let's level up to the pasture professionals. These are the animals that can actually help you manage your land, clear out brush, and give you incredible products like fresh milk. So, if chickens are the gateway animal, then dairy goats are your next big step. The feeling of pouring your own fresh, creamy milk on your cereal or making your own cheese, it's a sense of self-sufficiency that is just on another level. And they're fantastic land managers, too. They love to eat all the weeds and brush that other animals just turn their noses up at. But, and this is a very, very big but, there's one thing you absolutely must know about goats. They are smart, they are curious, and they are basically Houdini in a fur coat. Your number one investment before you even bring one home has to be rock-solid, escape-proof fencing. I am not kidding about this one. So, do you love the idea of having sheep, but the whole shearing thing sounds like a lot? Well then, hair sheep are your answer. They shed their winter coats all by themselves, no shearing required. They're also more resistant to parasites than a lot of wool breeds, and they're just super calm, easy grazers that provide really excellent, mild-flavored meat. Okay, let's shift gears for a minute. What if an animal's main job wasn't just to make food directly, but to make everything else on your homestead better, more productive? Let's talk about the ultimate garden helper. This really puts it all into perspective. I mean, the honey is fantastic. Who doesn't love honey? But the real magic of bees is their pollination power. They become this little engine of abundance for your whole property, seriously boosting how much you get from your fruit trees, your berry bushes, your vegetable garden. The return on your investment here is just unmatched.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, from chickens to bees and everything in between. Now for the most important part. How do we take all this information and turn it into your personal, actionable plan?
These 3 questions right here are your compass. You've got to be honest with yourself. Is your number 1 goal eggs for breakfast, or is it meat for the freezer? Realistically, can you commit 15 minutes a day, or is it more? And what does your actual space and your local laws allow for? The right animal for you is the one that fits your reality.
And here it is. This is basically the master key. Take your answers from that last slide and use them to read this chart. So, for example, if you have very little space and you want results fast, you can look down the list and see that quail have low complexity and offer quick returns. Just find the row that lines up with your goals and what you have to work with. This is where you can really compare your top choices head-to-head.
This is how you start strong without getting completely overwhelmed. Just follow these steps. And please pay very close attention to number 3. Start smaller than you think. Get 3 chickens, not a dozen. Start with 1 pair of rabbits. Master the routine, build up your confidence, and only then, when it all feels easy, should you think about expanding. That's the real secret.
And really, it all boils down to this. Homesteading is not about having the perfect farm on day 1. It's about taking that first step with what you have, right where you are. Take good care of it, learn its rhythms, and the rest, it will grow. So the only question left is, which animal will you start your journey with?